Welcome to a world without a past. Reality slowly becomes meaningless as you learn more about what each unique location has to offer. Fatum Betula is a fascinating game and one that's hard to describe without giving too much away. From what I can tell, this was developed by a single person with various others working on art, music and so forth, and it revolves in essence around a magical birch tree. The objective of the game is very simple. You need to feed the tree. That's it. What you give the tree will change the ending, and there are 10 different endings to find. You can finish some in mere minutes, while others will take much longer. It's hard to talk about the game without giving too much away, but it's an exploration game with elements of horror. I dare say if you want a chill, relaxing experience, you could do worse than running around Betula's world. Yes, that's right. I said relaxing. Because much of the game is. The music is wonderful and atmospheric, and as you can see from the scenes here, the game is gorgeous to look at as well. It's modelled on old PS1 games and sticks closely to that aesthetic. Atmosphere is king here, and with each ending you unlock, you'll discover more and more of this twisted, creepy, and very strange world. The game encourages you to explore and experiment. You can rush and get a quick ending, but what's the fun in that? But if you explore, check everything, check it again, talk to everyone and try out different options, toss different items at different things, combine items and so on and so forth, then you'll be rewarded with even more environments to explore and, ultimately, new endings. You start off with 3 basic areas. There's the temple area, which is where you begin the game and where you find the roots of the ancient birch you must feed. And then outside that, you'll find a gorgeous forested area that leads to an old fisherman's house, and an autumn area that's full of red and yellow leaves and a quaint little cabin. But these aren't the only areas in the game, and by gathering certain items and following certain actions, you can unlock further areas, which includes a neat underwater section and even a strange suburbia section. There's also a church lurking somewhere, but you'll need to find that too. You can't die in this game. If you fall into the water or over a ledge, it will just place you back on land again. This might seem strange for a game that's technically listed as horror, but that's not where the horror comes from. You won't be chased by anything here. Nothing will kill you. The horror comes from understanding just what's going on in this strange and unsettling world. It can be both peaceful and unnerving at the same time. You meet numerous characters, and the brief conversations you have with them are both confusing and, if you consider the implications of what they're saying, terrifying. I won't delve into the plot here. That's best discovered for yourself. Nor will I go into the various endings or how to get them. There are numerous walkthroughs that will show you precisely how to get them, but needless to say, some of them are quite easy, while others are quite complicated, with numerous steps you have to follow. One ending is also RNG, so it's a good idea to make saves so you can reset and keep trying until you get it. And what of the horror aspects? Well, as I mentioned before, you won't find yourself being chased by anything here, nor can anything kill you. The horror is more along the lines of existential dread, the surreal and unfathomable. Some endings don't seem too bad, while others will drag you down into despair and instinctual horror. There's also one section of the game that can be accessed by interacting with a certain item, that will then send you into a nightmarish version of the world, complete with visual glitches and horrifying truths. It's hard to review a game without talking too much about the plot, but At the end of the day, there isn't a lot of plot to begin with. The plot lies in the small interactions you can have with a few characters, and then mostly the various endings you can get. Will you lead this universe into ruin because you fed something to the tree that you shouldn't have? Or will you lead this universe to enlightenment and peace? But because there isn't a whole lot to the game, you can finish a single playthrough in anywhere from perhaps 10 to 40 minutes. My first playthrough took me about 30 minutes, and that was fully exploring all of the immediate areas you can access and talking to everyone there. Naturally, it will get longer once you unlock further areas, but once you know how to do that, the time is drastically cut down, so it amounts to roughly the same anyway. If you know exactly what you're doing, all endings can be achieved in about 1 hour and 30 minutes. That's if you know what you're doing and follow the steps precisely, i.e. use a guide. If you try to find them all yourself, then obviously you can add a few more hours of game time. This game is available pretty much everywhere but PlayStation, as far as I can tell. I initially picked it up on the Switch, where it only cost a few dollars, but then I saw it's available on PC as well, which is ultimately the version I ended up playing and the footage you're looking at here. But it's also available on Xbox as well. I'm not sure why PlayStation missed out, but there's no shortage of places to pick it up from, and it's only a few dollars regardless of where you go. Being a child of the 90s, I'm a big fan of these old PlayStation-type games, and being a horror fan, I like to try all sorts of different games within the genre. As I've mentioned before, games where you're chased by something constantly aren't really my favourite, but something slow and atmospheric like this definitely hits the spot. Your mileage will vary depending on what you like, but there are definitely worse ways to waste an hour or two if you're looking for something to do on a weekend. And it's always nice to support indie devs who are trying something a little different to the norm, which you will definitely find here as well. But what do you guys think? Have you played Fatum Betula? If so, let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and if not, go grab it for a few bucks. I don't think you'll regret it. But stay safe guys, and I'll see you again next time.